Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host Sandman. Today I'm going to be talking about pick cases for your favorite Jimy Longs lock picks. Let's get into it. First off, this is not really a review. I'm not really discussing about the quality of Jimy Longs picks or anything like that, but we are going to talk about some futuristic options because he does have some new products coming out in the future, and he has products that he's not going to be releasing, such as a pick case anytime soon that I'm aware of. In my discussions with him or anybody in the community, and I wanted to share those options with you. I currently have over 40 unique lockpick sets in my collection, 40. That being said, I have 38 pick cases for those 40 sets. So for some reason, I probably have something like two lockpick sets that just don't have cases. But I have 38 pick cases in my collection. 25 I left back on in my lock lab. I left it on my desk. I brought something like 13 or whatever math. I brought the rest over here with me. The ones that I think are the most eligible contenders to fulfill your needs for your Jimy Longs lock picks. I get questions all the time from people saying, hey man, I saw you review the Echelon pick set, or hey man, I saw you review the Lawluck Tools pick set, but I want to know if it'll fit my Jimy Longs. And I was like, and I end up having to go and I have to pull out lock picks, and I got to pull out a case, and I'll take pictures and send it to somebody that I don't even know. And they're like, thanks man, I appreciate it. And it's like, I'm doing a service for everybody that loves Jimy Longs, but they don't have the cases that I have access to. So I figured, man, wouldn't it be great if I just made an entire video? And next time when I get those 5 messages a day, because I do get a lot of people asking me about pick cases for Jimy Longs, I can just point them to this video. So before I get started, I actually wanted to talk about something really cool. I'm very fortunate and excited to say and show to everybody in my collection that Jimy recently provided tools for an event called Saint Con. And Saint Con is, I believe it's some type of security convention for people that are technologically minded. I don't know how much physical security is involved. I don't know anything about Saint Con. I've never been to one. Not trying to pretend to know, but I heard he was putting together a quote unquote a beginner pick set for Saint Con people that were attending Saint Con, and I was literally threatening him with violence, saying, man, you have got to figure out a way to let me get a hold of these one of these sets. And he was like, well, I can't. He's like, I can't send you a set because, he goes, it would compromise you as a reviewer. And I was like, consider me compromised, my friend, because I love your lock picks. And he's like, no, I can't do it. And then he said, I can't send you a pick set because I have to make 100 sets for Saint Con, and all 100 have to go. And I said, well, I guess you're going to stay awake at night making 101. And he just did not want to do it. And then lo and behold, I go to the mailbox and he had sent me a Saint Con pick set. So it's just like all the other Jimy Longs, except these are printed with Saint Con. But what's cool is this is unbeknownst to all of you and unbeknownst to all of the members of Saint Con that were able to get their hands on one of these. This is actually a prototype of the beginner pick set that Jimy Longs is probably going to be releasing in the coming months. Now, my particular prototype pick set is going to be unique and specific to me because I love using a gem style hook, and that's just kind of like my thing. I use this Peterson style gem hook right here. It's basically a half diamond, but it has an inside curve. I will be making a whole video on just gem hooks shortly, but this is something I really love. Now, he does sell this in 19 and 23 thousandths along with a this half diamond right here, but this most likely will not be in a future beginner pick set. I think it should, but it's not my company. He runs it how he wants it for himself and for the pickers that he is making it for. So this particular gem style hook will most likely not be in the pick set. What will most likely be in the set will be flats, rounds, and maybe a diamond, because those are very popular among pickers, especially locksmiths. So I don't know what else he's going to put in. I don't know if it's going to have 4 picks or 3. I don't know if it's going to have different sizes. I don't know if there are going to be 23 thousandths or 19 thousandths. These are all 23 thousandths if I remember correctly. I have no idea what's going in that beginner pick set, but that is the direction that Jimy Longs is going to be going. He's going to be offering a beginner lockpick set. Instead of somebody buying 4 different deep profiles and short hook, just a flat hook profile in 4 different depths in 1 thickness, He's going to be providing a beginner set. Then at some point he'll have an intermediate set, and then an advanced set, I suspect. I have no idea what's going to happen to all of these, if he's going to still offer these, I don't know. But this is a prototype of things to come, and I do believe he was selling these or giving these away, or they were being released to attendees at St. Con in some capacity with turning tools. And these are his prototypes of his turning tools, and I love them. These are for top of keyway tension or turning force. So these are tension wrenches, turning tools, torque wrenches, tensors, whatever you want to call them. There is no wrong name for them, and these are super great. They come in different thicknesses. I'm not going to do a review on these because these are prototypes, and we don't want to let the cat out of the bag on that. And there's some things that he wants to make changes to them. I don't know why. I think they are perfect as is. But what we are seeing here is the beginnings of the Jimy Longs beginner lockpick set, though highly modified. So anyways, with that being said, I am going to get into some pick case options, and I'm going to, you know what, we'll just go ahead and use these. So I do have some Jimy Longs picks here. We'll just put these aside. And I also own a whole bunch of Jimy Longs that are in this case right here. So I still have twice as many, but we're going to save this for last because I think this is one of the best options. So my favorite go-to option for Jimy Longs is going to be the Peterson book case. It's called The Book by Peterson. And man, this thing is so awesome. I love it. I think it's super durable. This thing's bomb proof. I love that the inner panel's in here. I have a whole review on it. It has a plastic filler on the inside. I love that these things are padded on the outside. I love that it has a handle. I love that it has a zipper and not just Velcro or hook and loop. And I love that it has this elastic in here. These are wide enough to hold leashy tools, or I could put my turning tools in here. I could use a turning tool in this slot. I could put turning tool in this middle slot here. This holds a lot of those picks. The only problem is sometimes it's tight. Now it will break in over time. So sometimes it's tight. And so therefore the only way I can get to a pick is I kind of like have to fold back the material, shove my finger in here and pull it out. It's not something you're going to do one-handed. This does take two hands in those areas. Unless you just wanted to use this primarily for your turning tools, and maybe you just wanted to use these side panels for your Jimy Longs, you could do that one-handed, no problem. But if you have a disability in your hands or in your fingers, or if you are just perturbed by that, this may not work for you, but I love it. I use this primarily for my Jimy Longs. This is my favorite case for Jimy Longs. The problem is this is $100. This is not super practical for a lot of people in our community. I said I was going to save this for last, but since we're comparing against a $100 bag, I'm going to go ahead and show you my favorite option. Then we're going to explore 10 other options beyond that. So this is something someone on Instagram reached out to me. Please forgive me. You know who you are, but I don't have your handle or your moniker or your nickname off the top of my head. But this was $5, like literally $5 or $6. It's kind of like a makeup bag. I don't know specifically what it's for, but it's called the Small Punch Roll. So I guess it's just for tools like punches and for stamping, or I use punches for when I do gun building and repair. So this is a denier polyester with Velcro fastener to secure whatever. It includes 14 protective pockets, so 14's a lot. Elastic bands for retention, armorer's tools. Yeah, so this is designed for punches for an armorer that is working on weapons or rifles. This was on Amazon. I'll provide a link down below for all of these pouches to the best of my abilities, but this thing holds Jimy Longs perfectly. For $100, this is a much better option. It's just missing one thing. And the one thing that is keeping this from being best in class is, I mean, $5, you can't really beat that. The one thing that's beaten is there's really no true pocket here for the Jimy Longs turning tools. If I put them in here and I roll this up, I promise you, these are just gonna fall out. So it'd be cool if somebody were to actually able to reach out to US Peacekeeper, and ask them like, hey man, I realize you sell these out of Chino, California, but this is made in China. If somebody could figure out what factory is making these out of China, which isn't too hard, it'd be super cool to request that they put a zipper pocket in here, or even a Velcro flap or something to retain your turning tools, because this really is a nice option. This top flap here is really great. This is one-handed operation of being able to actually pull the picks in and out. It's a little tight over here, so perhaps I would just leave a pick out of here and I would instead place it on this end. But I absolutely love this pick case. Whoever suggested this to me on Instagram, God bless you. You were doing the Lord's work. I really appreciate you. And this thing just folds up super nice. And I was kind of skeptical at first, but I was like, ah, it's $5. I've spent more money on dumber things. And this is really nice. I really like this as an option. And I think Jimy Longs actually suggested this to the person that suggested it to me. Who knows? So this is definitely an option for your Jimy Longs picks. And this is, like I said, $5. So we have a $100 option. We have the $5 option. Now let's look at some of the runner-ups. This is coming from Lockjaw MFG or Lockjaw Manufacturing. They have a lot of stuff for locksmiths. So they have pinning mats, they have t-shirts, they have hats. What else do they have? I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but they have this really nice pick case, and this thing is actually quite large, and this does hold a lot of stuff. And what's neat about a lot of their items on their website, they have pins and they have patches, and I think they have stickers. A lot of that stuff is kind of like Zelda themed for some reason. It totally works too. So, but anyways, anime and Zelda type theme, and this totally will hold your Jimy Longs beginner pick set if you were to get one and he doesn't ship one, if he were to not ship one. But what do we do with these turning tools? Well, this Lockjaw Manufacturing pick case does have slots in the back here that you can put your turning tools, and this is actually not terrible at all. This is actually pretty tight. And there's also, I wouldn't put anything back here, but it does have these pockets here. And so obviously you can put your turning tools in there, they're not going to go anywhere, but then you do have to dump everything out just to find the one turning tool that works. So this is a very nice pick case. I think that they could have made better use in this pick case if they had two threads here, if it was sewn right here, and had just a little pocket in the middle here, because yeah, that's what they should have done with that space there. And that spine would have been perfect for providing a space for your tools, especially if this was elastic. If this was elastic right here in the center, man, that would have knocked this case right out of the park for me. The biggest benefit for this case is that I can actually fit my leashy tools in here, or maybe you want to put your plug followers in here and you want to be able to gut locks wherever you go, if you go to a friend's house or something. So that's the next option. Let's dump that on the floor. So let's take a look. So we're now in the runner-ups. You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about another really great runner-up, and that's actually going to be my Peterson Masters trifold pick case, which is made out of calf skin and some other form of leather on the back. It just feels like calf skin all around. This thing is super nice. I've been using this for like 15 years, at least since 2010 or 2011 time frame, and so math, probably more like 12 years. But anyways, this holds the Jimy Longs picks perfectly, just super perfect. Sometimes though, you will get a tight pocket like this guy over here in the corner, and you know, you go to put your Jimy Longs in there and it's super tight. These things are definitely made overseas. I think the rumor is they're made in Indonesia or someplace like that, and that's fine. I would probably have been using that pocket, this front pocket here, for turning tools anyways, and I would put my Jimy Longs maybe in the back or something like that. But I do love this, and I love how tight it is, but I have seen people, when I have suggested this pick case, like, man, I love it. Some of these work perfectly, but some of these are just a little too tight, and therefore they're like, you know, there is a break-in period, but it's just a really nice option. It really is. But it also, we know, also the complaint is like, can Peterson just sell these without Peterson locksmith tools on them? Probably not. Also, these are probably $5 if I bought them from the manufacturer. So really the best thing is we need to find somebody who's actually making these and make them specifically for Jimy Longs, because not all of these pockets work. But this is a really wonderful option, and I've used something like this in the past. But this is $63. So is it super practical for your pocket? I don't know. Let's move on. If I talk about this is from Peterson as well. I currently have the Strike pick set in here, but I wanted to show you pick cases that do not work with the Jimy Longs lock picks. This one does not work very well. It's not much longer than Peterson picks. It's not much, but I promise you, as you close this, if you put any pressure on here, it will poke through, because I used to keep Jimy Longs in here, especially if you have this thing stuffed with bypass tools and you have it stuffed with turning tools, and then you put your favorite Jimy Longs pick in there, it will poke through the top. So I cannot recommend the Peterson, this particular soft nylon pouch. I don't know what it sells for. I don't know what the name of it is, but if you're in the market, you've probably seen it as an option. I wanted to say I would highly recommend that you look elsewhere. I've been using this for at least 10 years. I bought this in 2014, so I guess 9 years. So, but I've been using this a lot. However, once I put my Jimy Longs in it poked through, and I was so mad at myself. I was like, really? Can I not take care of my stuff? So I don't recommend that one. Let's take a look at the Sparrows. I think this is what they put the tuxedo in. I don't know. I'm not a really big Sparrows collector. So it's super tight in here. This is not a one-handed operation. That's not going to work. So I'm going to have to pinch it to drop it in, and that's fine. And let's go to close it. We can't. So I can't put this in this particular style of pick case if this was something you have. So I think this goes to the tuxedo pick case. I don't remember which set this is, but if this is the set that you have, if this is the case you have and you want to invest in Jimy Longs, your Jimy Longs won't fit in here. Okay, while we're still on Sparrows, let's take a look at the, so this is a variation of the Creeper pick set. At the very least, it's the Creeper case, which I really enjoy. I think it's really nice pick case. I think it's like 12 bucks or something crazy like that. And I have my favorite Sparrows in here that I would use if I did use Sparrows, but I don't. But, you know, they do have some nice stuff from time to time, you know, when you just want to play around and have fun. If I were to put this in here and then close it, it does work, it does close, and this is reinforced here with this strap of nylon, but it probably will poke through. It'll at least poke through here on this material in here. So I cannot recommend Jimy Longs for those two Sparrows cases. Also, since we're on this topic, if you do have this case, the best way to load this case up is just to squeeze it and dump everything in. It feels tight if you don't. And that can be kind of like a complaint among people like, oh, it's too tight. Well, you have to squeeze it to open it up. All right, so here's something. Oh yeah, man, I totally forgot about this. Someone had asked me, they're like, hey, can you take a picture of if the new Echelon will hold 8 Jimy Longs? And so I think I fit like 6 or 5. I think I fit 3 plus 1 plus 1. I don't remember how many the Echelon holds, but these do hold Jimy Longs. They absolutely do. I think it held 3 in the front. Let's give it a try. So this obviously isn't the Echelon. This is just for the Genesis pick case. I don't remember the name for it, but this holds the Genesis pick set, excuse me. And this holds 3 on the front. So if you can imagine that it holding at least 1 or 2 more on each side, then that's what you're gonna get. I think it held 1 more on each side. I think that's what it was. And it folded up and like nicely and everything. I think that it worked, and you could put your turning tools in the front here. And this folds up perfectly. Like it's perfect for these lock picks. It's just perfectly fine. So if you have the Genesis pick set and you are adding to your collection and you want to get into Jimy Longs, your Jimy Longs can absolutely fit in here. I remember them not fitting, however, into the back. So if I try to put them in the back, yep, they don't fit because it's shallower here. So you're not going to be able to fold that up. So the Genesis pick case works with Jimy Longs. Let's take a look at Lock Tools. This is the Renegade Pro set. And let's see if the Jimy Longs will fit in here. I'm sure they will. Yep, they fit in the front. Let's see if they fit in the back. And they fit perfectly in the back. So Lock Tools are a little bit longer. They're not the longest on the market, but they're the second longest to my knowledge, because I think Moki picks are the longest. So Jimy Longs, if you have the Renegade Pro and you are getting Jimy Longs or vice versa, these Jimy Longs will fit in your Renegade Pro. So that's good to know. All right, so we also have the Duplex. Someone actually reached out to me and was like, hey, Sandman, did you know? And I was like, no, I didn't. Thanks for showing me. So this is the Duplex Case. I don't know what the name of this case is, but if you just go to Lock Tools and look at their cases, it's this guy right here. And this fits perfectly for Jimy Longs. Jimy Longs seem to be the exact same length of Lock Tools. All right, let's take a look at the last 2 Sparrows ones, and then we're almost done. We'll call this video a wrap. I'm surprised that we actually went 20 minutes. So this is basically the Monstrum pick case, which is based off of the Sherman. And the Sherman and the Monstrum and the Night School are all the same pick case, except the Night School has pockets on the right for actual training locks that Sparrows sells. But on the left side, they are identical. So if I were to open this guy up and I were to put my Jimy Longs in here, they fit, and I should be able to zip everything up just fine. No trouble with there. Let's put it back here. Let's see how they fit. I didn't even, yeah, they fit perfectly here. So if you have already invested in your Sparrows pick set, such as the Monstrum or whatever, then, or the Sherman pick case or whatever, then you can be rest assured that your Jimy Longs will fit in there. No problem. Taking a look at the Night School, should be the same size. We have the pockets here on the right for our training locks. You'd probably put your turning tools here in the middle. I wouldn't put Jimy Longs there in the middle, but you should be able to, yeah, you can put your Jimy Longs right here on the side. No problem. No problem at all. And you should be able to do it on the inside because it's all the same. Yep. So this night school will fit your Jimy Longs. Last but not least, this is actually one of my favorite pick cases. Super nice. I have it filled with my absolute favorite Moki picks. I use Moki almost every day now. I love Moki picks. I love Jimy Longs. I don't ask me to choose between the two of them. That's like your parents having a divorce and you having to pick which one to go with. And these fit perfectly in my Moki pick case. I love how these fit in there. I mean, these are just sexy. I wish Jimy would just reach out to the maker that makes these and, you know, and be like, hey, I want some with Jimy Longs on the case. Just put my face on the case, and they would. It'd be super cool, and nobody here would care that it's the same case as Moki because these are made in Germany. So, you know, it is what it is. There's not a huge American market here yet. I hope he grows bigger here in America, but these fit perfectly in this case. And this is a nice case. I think if he did this case with a red stitching and the Sandman logo with a black eye smoking a cigar on the front, and it said Sandman, not Jimy Longs, and then on the back it said totally not Jimy Longs, definitely Sandman lockpicks, I think it would be a big seller. Jimy, you should get on that. So let's recap. My absolute favorite ones are the Peterson book case, which is $100, wah wah, and then this $5 one from Amazon that is a roll-up, and that thing's filled with picks and you would never even know. And then I think the Covert Instruments is a really great for minimalist if you just want to carry like your 3 favorite Jimy Longs picks, or if you have the Echelon pick case you can carry up to 5. And then I think Moki is a really great in that category. And then I really like the Peterson for $63. And then I like the Lockjaw Manufacturing. I don't remember the price on that, but these are my favorite ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are my top 6, if that is a thing. So anyways, I hope Jimy puts out more products in the future. I hope he comes out with his own turning tools. I hope he comes out with a beginner pick set. I hope I can find the missing lock pick that I just lost that says SyncCon on it. I have no idea where it is. I now have to go through 13 pick cases to try to find that. I'll do that off camera. But anyways, that's all I have for you folks. Let me know down in the comments down below, do you have any experience with collecting Jimy Longs, and what pick case have you been using to keep all of your Jimy Longs in? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's it. I don't really have any other questions for you. I actually want to know, what are you guys using to put your Jimy Longs in? Let me know if I missed anything or if you have any other suggestions. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit subscribe. And as always, I hope this product review sent you a good dream. I don't know. I'm still working on my catchphrase, guys. Write down in the comments down below what my new catchphrase should be. I'll catch you guys next time.
Mr. Sandman, bring us